Thank you for staying tuned. As I promised, we will come back. Unfortunately, we had some technical challenges, but they are dealt with. They are dealt with. It did take much of our time, but whatever it is, we always promise that we'll do whatever it is to bring you the best. Always, always. So you do know that yesterday was an International Day for Education, right? I don't know what your take is on that, but I heard some not so good comments from certain people yesterday, especially looking at our current educational system. Current educational system. I want to say this. I want to read this for you. The United Nations General Assembly on the 24th of January 2019 marked the first ever International Day of Education and declared this special day to empower all countries. I'm talking all countries, including Ghana, okay? To increase their political commitment to education so that all children and youth may receive the benefits of a full education. Moreover, International Day of Education is observed every year on January 24th of January to celebrate the role of education for peace and development. Well, in Ghana, the major objective of the school system as designed by the Education Reforms Program of 1987 is to make education more relevant to the socio-economic realities of the country. And whilst I'm reading, I'm seeing some people shaking their head. I don't know what you are disagreeing to. Just keep quiet and listen. Well, so realities of the socio-economic realities of the country so that the Ghanaian children will be able to live a productive and meaningful life. Annually, Ghana and countries around the world celebrate International Day of Education on January 24th to advocate for inclusive, equitable, and quality education for all. In view of this, Nana Ya Ado of the news desk, all right, yeah, she spoke with Divine Pay, an educationist and an education advocate, where he described the current status of Ghana's education system. So I want you to take a look at this. We have something about UTAG. I want you to take a look at this. So just hold on. We have a little thing. Hold on.
Students have been busily registering for the academic year and hoping for lectures to begin right after the festive season. However, things didn't go as planned. The University Teachers Association of Ghana (UTAG) on Monday, January 10, 2022, embarked on a nationwide strike action to press home their demands for improved conditions of service. UTAG from last year has been lamenting over the worsening conditions of its members and followed through with some demands on government. In its latest press release dated January 20th, the group decried the government's inability to implement as well as meet timelines agreed upon during negotiations as part of efforts aimed at improving conditions of service of lecturers. The strike has lasted for 3 weeks now. Some students of the Ghana Institute of Journalism expressed dissatisfaction over the strike, stating emphatically how it's affecting them. According to Josephine Nyedu Efresha, the government must heed to the call of the disgruntled teachers to settle their differences.
We're supposed to start lectures about, let me say, 2 weeks now. But because of the strike, we are still home and not yet knowing when to go, when to come for lectures. It will affect us in a way that because of the timetable, we have to go back from some of the subjects because we are supposed to be starting learning right now. But because of that, some of the timetable has to go back. So I think it will affect us in a way. I think the teachers has to be taken care of so that they can also take care of us.
For Pond Festus, a level 200 student, the strike action is taking a toll on him, putting consideration monies paid for the semester only to be told that teachers are on strike.
It is, and then we can't do anything about it as students because they feel like what they are getting from what they are doing is not enough. So they have to do what it takes for the government to see to the government doing their responsibility the right way. So, well, it's not good for us. It's really hurting because you pay this huge sum of money as your fees way last year, and then this year, the moment school resumes, you hear this strike stuff, and it's really appalling. But Ghana, it's affecting me negatively. It's really affecting because I should be learning by now, but I'm in the house doing nothing. So, well, I understand the teachers with what they are doing. Because I wouldn't say if I were to be in their position, I wouldn't do the same. You see, life, it hurts when you're doing something and you're not being valued for doing it, or you are not being paid the amount you are supposed to be paid. So I feel like, well, what they are doing, they think is right for them. So, but even though it's affecting us, um, it is what it is.
But Kelvin Dapla, also a level 200 student, believes students could still study as teachers are on strike. He outlines some ideas he believes would aid students in that regard.
It's affecting me in so many ways because there will be, if they come back, they'll be telling us to write IA and other stuff. So it's worrying us, and the term is really short. The semester is really short. So I think it's affecting me a lot. Yeah, I think in a way it's good because they also work, they need to be paid. So if there's the need for them to stay at home, so they are being paid, I think it's a good idea. Yeah. You know, we are not learning because nothing has been given to us. Slides, anything has not been given to us. So we are still waiting on them. If the slides was given, we would have learned, but nothing has been given, so we are still waiting. Okay, to me, I'll plead with them to maybe come and even give us the slides to learn ahead, so that if they are being paid, then they can now come back and continue with lectures. Yeah.
Fauziatu Abdullah is also a level 200 student, and she pours out her frustrations.
Actually, we're actually worried because if like it's already 3 weeks, so all the things we are supposed to learn at that particular 3 weeks, and if lucky for us, like they go off strike on February, of course all the 3 weeks learning and this will be adjourned into February, so like it will actually affect.
Meanwhile, the National Union of Ghana Students (NAX) has threw its weight behind the University Teachers Association of Ghana (UTAG) over its strike action, stating that the government had not been fair in its dealings with UTAG, hence demanding for government to formulate guidelines to implement the appropriate recommendations to address the COS of the university teachers.
Come back after that video. You did hear some of the concerns of some students, well, across certain universities or tertiary schools. I don't know what your take is on that, but as I said, or as I always say, Facebook, we are live there. You can drop your comments. Also on WhatsApp, the number is right there below. Yes, the bottom of your screen of your set. You can always send us your whatever is your concern as well. If you're a student and you also want your voice to be heard, send it. But I don't know what your take is. What side, whose side you stand on when it comes to this UTAC strike? The strike action. Yes, it's the 3rd week, and we know that every school has its laws. Some are saying that if school has not yet, or if there is no sitting in session, for students by the 3rd week, whether school should close. I don't know what you are thinking. What do you think? What do you think? I'm not very sure about where each, institution stands when it comes to these laws. But what are the effects on the students? What are the effects even on their parents? Sometimes there are indirect effects that even parents also have. As a lecturer, as a teacher, as a tutor, there, if you're going through all that, what do you also have to say? We also want to hear from you as well. Do you think it's about time that UTAG looks at these students and say that maybe we'll just go, back to the classroom while whoever is supposed to be working on this does so? I think something should be done. We should do something that meets the concerns of everybody involved, all stakeholders. Well, on that, I'm still waiting for your comments, but I did promise you some discussion, if you remember. Health, yes, a health talk later on, but this is the time, okay? This is the time we're going to have a conversation. It is going to be on the eye, and it's not any ordinary topic to discuss. It is I'm trying to get the exact thing for you. Hold on for me just a bit. The diabetic eye. So I don't know if there's a better way of terming it. The diabetic eye. Have you heard of that before? The diabetic eye disease. Have you heard? For me, it was the first time I saw a diabetic eye disease. What exactly does that mean? So I don't know. I don't know. Do you know? If you think you know, well, I have somebody who knows more about it, and she'll be joining me online. I mean, via phone call. She goes by the name Dr. Pala. I just like calling them docs, doc. So if you hear me say doc, I'm referring to this particular woman. She is an excellent person, and I believe that she is very, very experienced with this. So stay tuned. Let's get involved with this. If you have to call someone, this is the time. Call somebody to get involved right now. So with that said, we want to go on a very quick commercial break. Make sure we have Doc ready and waiting. Don't go anywhere. Call someone. If you have to call someone, call them. We want to talk about it, see how it affects, or whether you are at risk or I am at risk. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. A very quick one.
Welcome aboard the safest airline in Africa. With industry-leading safety measures to protect your well-being. The first in Africa to earn a diamond standard of safety. Offering a more contactless, safe, and seamless experience. Delivered with a smile by Africa's first fully vaccinated crew. Creating special memories that bring the joy back to flying, so you can continue making memories with your loved ones. Book your flight with Rwandair today. Rwandair, the safest airline in Africa.
Rwandair, fly the dream of Africa.
CB will make up now. I'm not correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. Who anymore? Oh, middle. You captures about one for man. CB man capsules. You see, CB man capsules and I make a year.
Stay tuned, and thank you for inviting and calling whoever needs to hear this. When it's about health, it concerns everybody, yes, no matter where your loyalties are placed, this should concern even your worst enemy. Get them on to listen to us. So I have Doc on the line, and she is Dr. Paula Nkrumah Gache, and she's an OD with masters in ophthalmology, which is a clinical practice from the UK. So we are not dealing with any mere doctor for you. Special expertise. Doctor, good morning. Hello, Doc. Good morning. Hello? Hello? Well. So we're still trying to reconnect with Dr. Paula. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Paula. I love your name so much. If I've made any mistake with it, forgive me there. But I hope I got it correct. Dr. Paula Nkrumah Gache.
Yes, please. Nkrumah Gache.
Nice one. So, doctor, we have an issue we want to delve into, the diabetic eye, that disease, the diabetic eye. I have not heard about it before, and I'm sure even if you give me 1 week, I wouldn't be able to explain if I have to use my own words or, search through for my mind. Please, can you help us? What are we talking about here?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. I want to say good morning to your listeners and
You're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to be with you this morning. And when I was called, I said I'm very passionate about this particular condition.
Okay.
It looks like a lot of us have probably had an oversight when it comes to diabetes and the eye. But the fact is that diabetes is a very dangerous disease, I will put it. It affects various organs in the body. It affects the eye, it affects the kidney, it affects the neurons, the heart, the brain, the extremities. And the eye is probably the least that people think about when it comes to diabetes. And so, let me give us a little global perspective.
Okay.
So, about 422 million adults have diabetes. And out of this number, 30% of them have diabetic eye disease. So, when you take every 100 people, about 30 of them have some form of diabetic eye disease. And the disease is such that it doesn't give you any symptoms until some damage has been caused to the eye. So it comes in three forms. We have it comes in diabetic retinopathy, cataract, and then glaucoma. So if you are a diabetic, your eye can get involved. You can have eye conditions. You can have eye problems as a result of the diabetes. So it's not just the seeing or the back of your eye that can get destroyed, even though that is the one that causes most of the damage when it comes to diabetic eye disease.
Okay. All right.
Cataract can also form. Cataract usually would form if somebody is aging around 60 years. But if you are diabetic, you realize that people get to have cataract forming earlier. You can see a 40-year-old who has developed cataract. Maybe it is diabetes. And then glaucoma can also result from diabetes because of the complications of the new vessels that are formed as a result of the disease. So diabetic eye disease is simply a disease that the disease of the eye that comes about as a result of diabetes.
Okay. All right. So how does it really affect the eye? I know that from what you just said, we can pick one or two things from it, but we want to know exactly how it affects the eye.
Okay. So what diabetes does is that the sugar in your blood increases, and then it starts affecting the small blood vessels that are in the eye. And when that happens, the blood vessels begin to break, they leak, and then new ones begin to form because the original ones, as it were, have a disease. So the body now starts to create new blood vessels, which are usually very weak, and so they easily break as well. And so for the back of the eye, where most of the blood vessels for that nourish the eye are found, it starts from there. So you realize that the blood vessels at the back of the eye begin to leak, they begin to get destroyed, and then new ones begin to form. And the retina, we call it the retina, the back of the eye. I actually prepared some slides so that it will make it more interactive and people can see what we are talking about. So
we have them
when
running.
That happens, when that happens, the retina or the back of the eye, where most of the action takes place when it comes to our seeing, begins to swell up. And when it swells up, blood can leak into the front cavity of the eye, preventing vision. When that happens, fluid can leak under the retina and raises the retina. The retina comes off. Then it means that the eye doesn't have any support or any nourishment from the body.
Okay.
We call it retinal detachment. That can result as a result of diabetes. And then the new vessels can form where the nerves leave the eye to communicate with the brain for us to see. That is where the hypertension can come in. And then cataract can also come in as a result of increased blood sugar.
Okay. So because you have diabetes, you can have these challenges as well.
Yes.
Wow. All right. But how common is this? How common? I remember
Like
you saying 100.
Earlier,
Yes.
every 10 people you think who are diabetic, 3 of them have some form of eye disease. So it's that common.
Is it so easy, I should say, to diagnose?
Yes, it is. It's easy to diagnose once you visit your eye healthcare provider. We have something we call, when you go for an eye examination, there is a comprehensive eye examination done for you. The truth is that because these things are kind of gradual and it happens at the back of the eye, it may not instantly affect vision.
Okay.
You usually find people visiting their care providers when they have disturbances in their vision.
Okay.
And by that time, a lot of damage would have been
Has
caused
already been
already.
done.
So there is an agency that regulates eye health across the globe globally. They are called the International Agency for Preventing Blindness. They recommend that if you are diabetic, every year you should have an eye screening. Whether you're seeing well or not, you should have an eye screening because that's the only time that this condition can be diagnosed. I remember I had a patient who came to see me and said she couldn't see and she wanted glasses. I asked about her blood sugar. It was quite high. I wanted her to work on it so that she brings it down before we do any test for glasses. But she kept saying that it has been consistently high. So she doesn't think it will come down. I went ahead and did the glasses for her. She was seeing perfectly. But I asked her to do the screening. And we usually would use a machine to scan the eye, the back of the eye. And we see all the layers of the retina to be able to see if there's anything wrong.
Okay.
And lo and behold, when she did the scan, the whole retina was swollen. You know, if that had persisted, because she now had her glasses, she was seeing well, so she wouldn't think that there's any other challenge. But the real challenge was the diabetes. And so when she did the scan, we took her to counseling. After less than 2 months, her blood sugar had come down. She took the scan again, and the whole retina was fine. And so these are some of the things that can happen. So if you are diabetic and you've never had an eye screening done, maybe you are not experiencing any visual disturbance, but things are going on at the back of the eye. Another one came, she did the scan, the retina, part of the retina had raised, fluid had started seeping under, but her vision was perfect because it wasn't affecting the central vision. And so it's advisable that if you know any diabetic, I'm very passionate about it because it is the leading blindness in the working age group.
Mm.
You know, so imagine a breadwinner who is diabetic doesn't know that something is going on with my eye.
Yeah.
Then one day, a lot of damage has been done.
Mm.
The photoreceptors, we call something photoreceptors, they are enabled as they catch the light so that we are able to see. The photoreceptors are dead because they have been off the retina for a while. The person didn't know. So if you know somebody, I know probably the eye is the least people think about when it comes to managing diabetes. They are thinking about the medications they need to get. They are thinking about all other things but the eye. But I have taken this for myself. I'm advocating for this because I can't imagine seeing a third of all diabetics in Ghana going blind, you know, because they didn't know about it. So that's why I told Anastasia I was very passionate about it.
Your concern is very, very appreciated. I can understand. Wow. And I wouldn't want that as well. So we thank you for responding, yes, to this call as well. Thank you so much. But to ask more on this particular issue, can you tell us, yes, you have said, now we get it, that those that are diabetic do need to go check their eyes. Should it be anyone who is diabetic, or there's a particular, because we know diabetes is in forms, is it a particular kind, those who have this kind of diabetes or those who have this kind who need to check for their eyes?
Okay, so everybody who is diabetic needs to have an annual diabetic eye screening done.
Okay.
Yeah. Type 1, type 2, gestational, all of them. Yeah.
So like the lady in question who had issues just seeing, and then the glasses was okay and everything seemed okay. Are there any other symptoms, just some, maybe something that is even silent or hidden, that maybe you could have placed a hand or a finger on, but you didn't really relate to? Are there any other symptoms like that that could alarm or alert, or should alarm or alert anyone?
Well, the small vessels, we call them capillaries in the eye, they are the ones that get affected. And it is the same with the kidney. And so if you start seeing anything happening to the eye, it means that the kidney also is in trouble. So if you experience anything that is related to your kidney, you should know that there's something happening to your eye as well. But like I said, because the processes are very small, they are short, maybe it changes within every small interval, and it's difficult for you to see a drastic change in vision.
Okay.
It may be difficult for one to spot it himself. But if you know that your blood sugar has been consistently high, you should of necessity visit an eye clinic.
All right. Okay. So you should see a doctor. So all to those that are diabetic now and have never ever thought of this, have never ever heard of this, when do you think should be right for them to see a doctor? And I'm hoping you say now.
Like now, in fact, like yesterday.
Okay. Okay, so now, if you're diabetic and you know anyone that is diabetic, advise them to go see the optometrist, to go for a full, so not the one or quine channel. A, what letter is this? E, what letter is this? No, you need to go for a full, a proper one, if that word best fits. So how do doctors diagnose eye problems from diabetes? How is that done? You talked about a machine earlier. I was trying to picture how that machine would look like, but help us with that, please.
Okay, so if you visit an eye clinic, a proper eye clinic, like my dear sister is saying, you will do visual acuity, you will do fundoscopy, you will do slit lamp examination. Sometimes you can use we have a lens that can do fundoscopy behind the slit lamp, or they will use a handheld or thermoscope to look at the back. Then you will have to do a dilated fundus exam. That is, we put eye drops on your eye to open the eye up, as it were, so that we can see the back well.
Okay.
But with that, we can only see like the inner portion of the back. The back is like a 3D diagram. It has layers. It has 10 layers. But we can only see the first layer when we do the dilated fundus exam, or when you have a fundus photo taken for you. There is this machine that I was talking about. It's called the optical coherence tomography machine.
Okay.
And so that one is able to scan the layers of the retina. So we see the various levels. Sometimes you do fundoscopy, you look at the inner layer, the first layer, and everything looks fine. But something is probably happening within the retina, and it is the OCT that can do that kind of examination.
Oh, okay. All right. So while we've seen some how you treat this, I want us to look at treatment as well. But before that, I want you to connect it to the types of diabetes, whether maybe this type makes it worse or this type, if there's anything like that, then we look at how to treat it.
Okay. All the types of diabetes we have, it's the same for all of them. Once you have diabetic eye disease, it doesn't matter. And literature has it that if you have a type 1 diabetes, after 20 years, it says all type 1 diabetics have diabetic eye disease after 20 years. After 20 years, 60% of type 2 diabetics have diabetic eye disease. So it also has to do with the longer you have had the disease, like how long have you had the disease. It also informs whether you have it or not. But it is advisable that every diabetic just goes for the eye screening to be done. It used to be the leading cause. I told you that it's the leading cause of blindness amongst the working age group. So you can imagine, it's the leading cause of blindness among the working age group.
Yes.
It needs to be that in the UK until they started the National Diabetic Eye Screening Program, and it's no longer that. So all it takes is for the screening program to be done. And when that is done, there are 3 levels of prevention or prevention of blindness when it comes to diabetic eye disease. The primary level, like what we are doing now, we are educating the public. We are telling them that there is something called diabetic eye disease to manage your blood sugar, because that is the source of the disease. So if your blood sugar is managed, like I said concerning the other patients, once the blood sugar started dropping, everything started correcting. So it has everything to do with, first of all, the patient managing their blood sugar. Then we have the secondary level, where when you have the eye scan done, we manage your progression. Like we manage how it is going. We look at how it is going. For instance, there may be, she is a typical example of a secondary level prevention of blindness. Because when she came and she had a scan done, we realized that things were not going well. She was counseled. She went back, did her homework. Her sugar started dropping, and then the eye started getting better. And so that was a secondary level of preventing the disease from damaging the eye. Then the tertiary level is when people have come and then they are still seeing, but there is something going on there, and there is some substantial level of damage that has taken place. Then you would now need the treatment. You will not be given an injection by a surgeon, a retinal surgeon, an ophthalmologist. You will either be given an injection to drain the swelling in the eye, or you have a laser done for you to block the blood vessels that are leaking. So that's the tertiary level. So we can actually help the patient from progressing to that level where they need treatment, as in need injections or laser to be done for them.
So no surgical treatments anywhere?
It can, if the leaking has entered the cavity I was talking about, the gel part of the eye, if the blood has leaked to that cavity, and it has been there for quite a while, it can cause cause the vision to be damaged, or it can pull the retina from its scar can form and it can pull the retina. We call it tractional retinal detachment. In that instance, the person needs to see a vitreoretinal surgeon. They do something called vitrectomy for them, and then they try to, if the retina has detached, they try to fix the retina back. That is if the person reports early enough. Because if the retina comes off for a long period of time, even when it is fixed back, the cells are already dead. That nothing can be done. That is the reason why the screening needs to be done.
So that is the worst form.
Case, right? Yes, that's the worst case scenario.
Okay. All right. So we know that when it comes to diabetes, it's always linked or related to one's diet. Well, in the curing or in the treatment of the diabetic eye disease, where does diet come in?
Yes. So, since diabetes, the diabetic eye disease comes about as a result of the diabetes. I always encourage my patients to get a dietitian. Talk to a dietitian. They will give you a proper diet plan. A lot of people think that they will tell me not to eat this, not to eat that. But it is the normal foods that we eat, but they just give you portions. Okay, so they know the portions that will be good for you to help you to reduce the blood sugar. Once the blood sugar is maintained, your eyes are safe. Every other organ, I talked about the brain, I talked about the heart, I talked about the extremities, you know, the kidney, they are all safe. Once your diet is like well managed, you will not have any of that issue. So it starts with the diet. Once you talk to a dietitian, they will give you what to eat. So they will tell you that if you are eating carbohydrates are usually reduced. And in our part of the world, I know that we enjoy a lot of carbohydrates. Yes, because that is what will be converted back into the glucose and then increase the issues about the blood sugar. And I mean the sugar in the blood, sorry. And so if you probably eat a bowl of cake, your dietitian will tell you, make it half, make it quarter, add a lot of greens, add fish, you know, and you will still be full. We think when we eat the carbohydrates, it makes us fuller. But the vegetables rather have fiber and they fill you better. And it helps reduce your blood sugar. And then all your other organs are protected, they are safe. And you don't have to be spending excess money taking care of your health. You know.
Doc, can you give us some tips on how to protect our eyes, diabetic or not, just besides the screening?
Okay. So, I like to talk about this rule, the 20-20-20 rule. In our day now, we do a lot of screen work. They are almost always on your computer, almost always on your phone, your tablet. And it can cause eye strain, which will lead to headaches and all that. So we have something we call the 20-20-20 rule. So when you do 20 minutes of a screen work, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. I know it may be difficult to remember, but anytime you remember, or if your colleague remembers, just alert each other. Look at something that's about 20 feet away for 20 seconds after every 20 minutes of doing your computer work, phone work, your tablet work. So that's one of the things I want to share with us. You can also get a protective glasses, a blue block. Like you will not need any lens power in there, but just for protecting your eyes, you can get that as well. And
is that what we call the photochromic?
No, the photochromic is it's for protecting you from the sun rays. So when you go outside, you have some form of protection. They include that in your prescription. And then when you go out, it changes color to become darker. And it's protecting you from the sun rays. The blue block is like an add-on. I don't know if you have noticed. You probably look at somebody and their glasses look like it is bluish.
I guess we just tend to brand them all as sunglasses.
Anyway, you can do that do a lot of vegetables as well, the greens. And I know people like, how do you call it, multivitamin supplements.
Yes.
But you can get them from the greens that you eat. Because sometimes for you to get the active form of the multivitamin, they need to put in a lot of it, which may be more than what you require daily. But if, for instance, you are drinking a cup of orange juice, you will squeeze about 5 oranges to get a cup. But you can't sit down at a go and have 5 oranges if you are taking it like an orange, not like juice. So in the same light, if it is being compressed into a multivitamin, a lot more goes in there. So I would rather advise we do the naturals. Like you do your own food, eat the fruits, eat the vegetables, and it will help the eyes and it will help the diabetics as well, especially. And if you're diabetic, reduce the sugar, very sugary food, because it is sugar we are dealing with.
Yes.
So you can do a lot. That's why they recommend, the dietitians recommend a lot more of the vegetables, the cabbage, the lettuce, and the like.
Okay, Doc. Thank you very much. But one very important question I want to ask: with those who have, history of diabetes in the family, supposing in my family diabetes is there is a history, hereditary issues. I haven't gotten diabetes. Should I still be worried or concerned about the diabetic eye disease?
Okay, for such a person, people who have been diabetic have reversed their condition by managing their diet well. So if you know that there is a history of diabetes that runs through your family, watch your diet. Just eat well. And I doubt you will come up with diabetes, because the type 2 diabetes usually comes about. That's one of the reasons why you get a type 2 diabetes, your diet. Because these days there's a lot of junk, there's a lot of sugar and all that. That's why it is on the increased urbanization. That's the reason why type 2 diabetes is increasing. So if you know there is a history of diabetes in your family, I think that you should start eating well. And surprisingly, the eating well is what we think that it is like for poor people. We should start eating well. More vegetables, reduce the carbohydrates, reduce the oil, and try not to get into the high blood pressure range, because hypertension and high cholesterol are risk factors for diabetes. So they are siblings. Once one comes, it tries to bring the others.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. My producer wants to know a very quick one. She's bothering me about this. She says that the glasses that people wear, I mean, it has become some way part of our fashion now to put on glasses and all that. Is there a way that the unprescribed glasses that we wear can actually affect our sight, affect our eyes?
Oh, if it has no lens power in it and it's just clean glasses, it doesn't have any effect. It actually will protect you from the dust, so that will not enter your eyes. Just make sure that there is no lens power in it. If there is lens power in it and you don't need it, you will be straining your eye muscle.
Okay. So even if you are using
once it is clean, if it is clean,
no lens
there's
power.
nothing wrong. Yeah.
So if it's plain, no lens power, and I'm using it for, the screens, phone, laptop, computer, it still wouldn't do anything? Not even protect me?
If you bought it from, if you didn't get it from your healthcare provider, what you need, if it is because you want to protect your eyes from the screen that you are wearing it, you will not be getting it, because if you get it from your provider, they send it out to the optician to include the blue block or the anti-reflective I was talking about. That is what protects you from the screen. your mind is you are protecting yourself from the screen, it will not be serving the purpose.
Okay. I get particularly worried about something, and I want you to advise my viewers on this for me. I don't think I have the authority to do that. So, since you are here, help me with that. Those who go to these wayside optometrists to acquire their glasses, and sometimes you even see the lens, down there, and it looks, and they say they are reading glasses and all that. I do think it is somewhat a bit dangerous for everyone who should go with these ones. So maybe I even need the education bit on that. So help us with that. Any advice for them or for me, if there's any?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you just go to the wayside, to a park, to get a pair of glasses, those on the streets, they don't have any license, they are not regulated, and I've ever seen somebody use lights and something to measure somebody's refractive power. I don't know how that is going to work. And so if you love your eyes, I would kindly advise that visit your healthcare provider, a licensed healthcare provider. Those on the streets, they just see the business bit of it, and then they want to sell something to people.
Yeah.
And usually they are not strong as well. You just go, they wear it and it breaks. I saw a patient last week. He said his glasses that was prescribed for him were got missing. So he went to get one from the street. And his eye could see better than when he was wearing it. So I told him that I begged him, you shouldn't wear it.
And
so once you go, then it is try it, solution, wear it and see.
Yes.
If you can see. So that's how they test, like the test they do for you. So wear it and see. If you can see clearly, then that's your prescription. That is not it.
Yeah, they offer free screening also in churches and other associations where people are gathered as well. So yes, I do hope our advice reaches far. Go for a full.
So would advise the test leaders and all that. If you want a screening done for your congregation, you can always get in touch with like the associations. You can get somebody for you because we want people's eyes to be fine.
Okay.
People to see well. And so if you get in touch with our association, we have the even if it is the ophthalmological society you get in touch with, they can always let you link you to an optometrist who can get it done for you.
Okay.
And the Ophthalmic Nurses Association, they can organize a screening for you.
Okay.
The Optometric Association, they can organize a screening for you. So any level of eye care provider, they can organize a screening for you. So it's better that we get in touch with the association. And another thing is, those who go to the pharmacy and will say, oh, I am getting Apollo. Everything is Apollo. And you just go and you give me chloramphenicol or give me some medication. My eye is paining me. No screenings and nothing. Then you just go for any medication at all. You can actually buy glaucoma for yourself. Because if you are going to get a steroid medication, it will mean you are happy every time you are putting it on your eye. You can develop glaucoma from that. And glaucoma is the leading cause of irreversible blindness. Once you are blind from glaucoma, that's it. So the public should go to the government institution. There is definitely an eye clinic there. Go to a registered eye care provider. And let's not take our lives and our health for granted.
Wow. I love what you just said. I thought we were wrapping up, but you've brought in something that also raises another concern. You said that glaucoma is the first cause of irreversible blindness, meaning that there are some blindness that can be reversed. In the case of the diabetic eye disease, some blindness can be reversed, or?
Yes, there are definitions of blindness. And so if somebody doesn't see a certain level of the visual acuity, the person is considered blind. So if, for instance, somebody comes and has swelling in the eye as a result of diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
or the blood vessels are leaking, and so the blood has blocked the vision
Okay.
as a result of diabetes, and the person's visual acuity is at that range. The person may be said to be blind, but once it is dealt with and he can go back, the blood is probably removed from the eye, as it were, and the retina comes back to its normal size, and no damage has been caused. The person
Okay.
can get the vision back.
All right.
But you can only find out if you have your screening done.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you so much for that. And speaking on glaucoma, I think we should get you back here to speak on glaucoma as well.
Yes, Glaucoma Week celebration is coming up.
Okay.
And I'm sure that you will.
Yes.
I'll communicate with us. Then
Okay.
we know and plan something for the public.
Thank you so much, Dr. Paula Nkrumah Gache. You've been of tremendous help, and our source of information this morning, education, information, health-wise, whichever wise you can think of it. Thank you so much. God richly bless you for your time, and of course for all you have put in today. Thank you so much.
And you can locate me in Tema.
Oh yes, I should have
If you want to have your screening done,
okay.
We have the machine that can scan the eye.
Yes, the way you mentioned the machines. Please give us your where to see you in Tema. Where exactly?
Community 9.
Community 9. Okay.
Yes, on the General Hospital Road, inside the Chaska Pharmacy Building.
Okay. The Chaska.
Chaska, CHASCA. Pharmacy Building.
Chaska, okay, Pharmacy Building. All right. So, all in and around Tema, and of course, if you just by this education, you feel you have to, you have a history of, I mean, you have diabetes, whichever type it is, you know somebody who has, and you are not sure where to go to. Tema is the place to go, to the hospital road within the Chaska Pharmacy Building. They have every machinery, and of course, Dr. Paula, the most resourced person to attend to your needs, is there. Just make your way there. Sometimes we think about the money, but Charlie, it's your eye we are talking about. No matter how healthy you are, if you don't have your eyes, I don't know. And doctor, are you still on? I hope I have not let you go. Okay, so unfortunately she's gone, but I wanted to put her number out there. But of course, if you want her number, you can call us. Yes. Hello, doc.
Yes. No.
All right. If you can put your number out there for. Okay.
024
024 53
24
000 All right. Kindly repeat it again for
024
53
24
Okay. All right. So I hope we can reach you. It's on the screen. Okay. So I hope we can reach you via WhatsApp on this number as well.
And you can reach me via WhatsApp on the number you are talking to.
Okay. Now. Okay. All right. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So you can call this number. She said it, but it's on the screen as well. So just write it down. Please don't just put it in that small book that anytime you need a contact, you have to really search for. Or if you have to write it, I know how our old women write numbers on the walls. Write it. It is as important as that. Write it where you easily see it. Make appointments. Call. In your head, have it there. At the end of this week, at the end of January, I'm going for my eye test. Not the Quine one, of course, from Dr. Paula. And with that, all too soon. Yes, well, time flies by when you are doing something interesting and something good. But this is where AM Ghana ends for today, right? I told you we'll bring you something good, and we have delivered. Tomorrow promises to be an interesting one as well. So for me and the AM crew, Yes. We'll be here tomorrow as well. And we will, there is this ad running. I don't know if you've seen it. Yes, about the consecration of the Suffragan Bishop of Tema. Okay, so we'll have more to say on it to enlighten you wherever you are tomorrow, right here, Adwa TV Ghana, AM. Yes, A.M Ghana Show. Here. So, bye-bye. Remember what I said. Forget all that is past and gone. Forget all that is not so good. There is a bright day ahead of you. We've started well. See all this good information. Make sure you carry the spirit along. And our new word for today, quip. Make sure you do show or use that word. Let people know that you are eloquent. Let them know you are eloquent. So, yes, from Anas. Yes, Suffragan Bishop elect. Yes, there will be a consecration that will be. It's 5 days more. Hey, this weekend now, Saturday, Sunday. Sorry, Sunday, 30th January. It will be live. Yes, we'll air it live, but we would rather have you here. So for those far away who can't join us, do well to watch. But if you are near, please come here. Come to Adwa TV. Yes, come here. We'll host. Me say we'll host him here, whether on or the forecourt in the church or here, need now the same thing. So yes, from the crew, Anas right there, McLean right there, Jonathan on the master control room, sound guy, all our camera crew. Thank you very, very much. It's been a wonderful time with you as well, watching, of course. We'll see you right here tomorrow. Goodbye.